You're watching TRTS Clips, a clip-sized content playlist that encloses experiences and stories of some of the most amazing, intellectually sound people from different walks of life. You enjoy this particular clip and don't forget to check out the entire playlist. If you like it, please support us by sharing it. Now, without further ado, the guest is all yours.
When we talk on the technology front of making things decentralized, or for example blockchain, taking the case of blockchain itself, how has the progress been since, I would not call the inception, because it was like
Right.
there was certain period
Back in 2009.
yeah, from past 5-6 years the technology is being prevalent and researches are being done in that
Definitely.
field. How has that progress been from that point of time till now?
So I think there has been a huge amount of progress, right? So back I remember, like I was telling you, when I first started reading about blockchain, there was no information available. Like it was hardly few blogs, etc. You had to put in serious amount of effort before you came to a point where you understood things and why the technology it is, and how why it is the way it is. And when this happens, there's always this niche group of people who know everything, and then there are this large group of people who have like no idea. But what has happened over the past 4 or 5 years is that there's a lot more information now. Right now, there is information, for example, on YouTube, etc., which is there for public consumption. There are also several courses on how blockchain technology works, how you could potentially get started with that technology. So, to an extent, the education aspect, is getting solved. Then, when I come to the technology itself, it is becoming more refined. So, when people, first came out with blockchain technology, there was a very, how do you say, idealistic understanding that this will be like this and it will solve everything and all of that. But people have realized that blockchain also has its limitations. You cannot use blockchain technology everywhere. There are only certain places where blockchain technology is very, very useful, while certain places where it should never be used. So this kind of information and this kind of sort of, you could say, thinking now has come into place where people are a lot more smarter about how this technology has to be applied and where it has to be applied. Now, coming to the technology aspect, like let's leave the education aside. Coming to the technology itself, there's been a huge evolution as well, right? And this is kind of where like what we are doing also starts to become increasingly relevant and essentially a way forward for blockchain technology and its evolution. Is that people realize that the way the blockchain technology itself was designed was very restrictive, in the sense that it was very low performance. You could only do, let's say, a few transactions in let's say, so the throughput of blockchain, without getting into specifics, was very slow. It was also costly to interact and work with blockchain technology. At Polygon, we have tried to solve this. Right. So we were Matic Network. Now we've rebranded ourselves to Polygon. And what we are trying to do is build like sort of a scalability layer around blockchain. So what we've done is that we've taken the most popular and the most blockchain, which is, which has the largest ecosystem, the most diverse, and in our opinion, like one of the best ecosystems, which is Ethereum, and built like a scalability layer around it, like a high performance layer, which allows you to then do things which were not possible with blockchain. This whole, sort of, you could say, conversation about scalability was also kind of new. Like it is something which started in 2016, 2017, when, more and more people started getting into blockchain, and the blockchain networks in general started getting clogged. People realized that, it doesn't seem scalable at all. I mean, how is the entire world supposed to use something like this? But like, that's kind of where our story started. So that's kind of where Matic Network was conceived in 2017, and the whole idea was to solve for the scalability problem. And to a large extent, we've been very successful. Today we've been able to build this scalability layer, which allows, people to draw out, you could say, the real power of blockchain and be able to, use it in every sphere. For example, whether it's payments, gaming, whether it's, social media, whatever have you. Like, today, like that exists because we built that scalability. And there are several other people who've done that as well. So, scalability is sort of a technical problem. There are bound to be many solutions, but our solution has worked out really well. It's proved itself to be production ready. So this is kind of what I've seen on, you could say, the education and thought process side, where there is a lot of evolution as well, and there's a lot of more material available today if you want to learn about this. But also on the technology as well, that it's become more production ready and more ready for, let's say, mass adoption compared to what it was maybe in 2016 or 17. So.
Yeah.